Hey guys, what is up? It is Rosa and welcome to today's video. I feel like I'm really close to the camera, so just let me know what you think. Today is my first video in my haunted spooky Halloween series. I'm going to be doing a video every single Friday about something spooky on eBay that is being sold currently or in the last couple of weeks that has an awesome story to it, whether it is a haunted doll, a haunted object, anything like that. So if you guys like those kind of stories, make sure to keep on watching. Also, please make sure to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Join the Bright Patch fan bar. We have fun here all the time. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first story is going to be on the Dyybuk box. If you guys have not heard about the Dyybuk box, it's a box that holds a demon inside. And if you open it, you'll screw, girl. And these 3 stories are going to tell you why.
Preface. This is not a toy, and not for individuals who do not respect spirits or the occult. If you purchase this Dyybuk box, do not open it. If any point you begin to feel physical manifestations of what is attached to this box, do not throw it away or damage it in any way. Respect is critical, and you must treat it well until it leaves your hands at home. I currently have it stored in my apartment storage room in a box and surrounded by salt. I removed it quickly to take photos for this listing. This has seemed to reverse the physical effects it was having on me. This box was recovered from Crane Sanitarium in historic Richmond, Indiana. The stunning building has broken down over the course of the last 100+ years and is now generally regarded as an eyesore. My mother is a real estate agent and was able to get a hold of the keys, knowing that I've always wanted to tour the place. I've posted a couple of pictures of some rooms, which shows how run down it is. This box was found thrown in the basement among a few others. Since no one owned the building at the time, I've always loved anything creepy, spooky, haunted looking. I took all of them home as a souvenir. What a mistake that was. I didn't get any bad vibes from it initially. Over a few weeks, I began experiencing weird physical phenomena. I developed tinnitus, which would get worse when I was in my room with the box. I began having incredibly vivid, gruesome dreams and would wake up sleepwalking. I began feeling horribly nauseous just looking at the box and felt like I was being stared at constantly. At times, it would also smell putrid, but would completely go away moments later. I never heard any voices or children laughing. Nothing cliché. It was the deafening silence that I began to notice whenever I was around it. I tried to burn sage. Didn't work. I tried a spiritual banishment, purification ritual. Didn't work. If you gently rattle it, you can hear something inside. Not sure what it is. I just want it out of my house. Again, do not mess around with this if you aren't knowledgeable or skilled with spirit attachment. I didn't respect it for what it was, and now I realize what a mistake that was. I won this box in a silent auction 5 years ago. It has little holes all through it, and I believe that's what makes this box more active than most. I have had many experts look at it, and one of them had a possession incident that lasted an hour. I've also had a personality on YouTube keep it in his home for a week. After 3 days, he sent it back. This box will get in your head. I've had reports of people having the most horrific nightmares when this box is in their room. I've also woken up and my husband has been just standing by my bed. This has happened many times. It's like sleepwalking. Be sure you want this before bidding. We have all seen this entity and been touched by it. It does still have its wax seal, but the holes give it some room to seep out. That's the only conclusion we have all came to on this box. A rabbi told me that this Dyybuk is so strong, a wooden vessel isn't strong enough to contain it, so the holes were placed to relieve the pressure of sorts. I acquired these boxes in the final hours of an estate sale. The little I know of the history of these boxes was told to me by the lady running the sale. She said the previous owners were a Hungarian couple that had lived and traveled all over Europe and Northern Africa before settling in the US. This was obvious to me based on the wide variety of things still in their former home from all over the world. The couple had lived a long life but had no known family to speak of and had passed on rather unexpectedly within days of each other. The estate sales lady also told me she was glad to get those damn boxes out of here because she sure didn't want them around any longer. I did think that was strange, but I just laughed it off at the time and loaded all the boxes into my truck. A few months has passed by and I hadn't given any thought to the unusual old boxes during the time. Honestly, I had stacked them all in the closet in my guest room and just plain forgot about them until my sister and her daughter came to stay with me and needed the room. While cleaning out the closet, my sister came across the boxes and asked if I knew what was inside of them. I told her I never had opened any of them, honestly, had no desire to, even though I can hear something clanging and scraping inside the boxes. She asked if it would be okay to get rid of them. They gave her the creeps and she said they made my entire house smell. Of course, I thought she was overreacting. Admittedly, the boxes are strange, but I definitely never thought they smelled like anything. However, I did move all the boxes out of my workshop just to ease her mind. A few days later, my sister sent me a text while I was at work that read, "Not funny." I thought nothing of it and put the text out of my mind until I got home. I asked her the night what she meant by the text, and she told me she found all the boxes that morning at the foot of her bed, and that my joke was again not funny. I was shocked as I certainly didn't have the time to mess with her. How could I possibly move a dozen boxes into your room in the middle of the night without waking you up? I said. We questioned her daughter as to if she moved them back into the house, to which she had adamantly denied. It was getting late, and not wanting to move all the boxes back out of my workshop that night, we decided to leave them in the front room until the weekend, even though my sister was not at all happy having them in the house again. They made her very uneasy feeling. She said they have a very dark and heavy presence. Later the same night, I was woken up by the terrified scream of my niece. I ran down the hall to the room my sister and niece were sleeping in. The door was shut. I tried to open it, but it was stuck. The door had no lock, but the knob would not turn. My little niece was still screaming at the top of her lungs. I kicked the door open at this point as something serious had to be wrong. As I entered the room, I was immediately met with a bone-chilling cold unlike the temperature of the rest of the house. My niece was in her bed under her covers, trembling in fright. I looked at my sister, who was still in her bed sleeping peacefully, and thought, that doesn't make any sense. How didn't she wake up? I went to my little niece to comfort her, thinking she must have had a nightmare, dismissing the stuck door and the chilled room at this point. She was in tears and very much upset. She told me it was not a dream. She said she woke up and saw a large man with a large wild beard in the room staring at her mother while she slept. He was wearing old, dirty clothes and smelled very bad, she said. My sister was just waking up at this point and heard the story my niece was telling us. I was admittedly freaked out and began to go look around the room just in case it wasn't a dream and some crazy man was in my house. After checking the house from top to bottom and being satisfied no one had been there, I returned to the girls' room. My sister had calmed her daughter down and got her back to sleep. Some wild dream she had, said my sister. I said it scared the hell out of me. As I was leaving their room to head back to bed, I turned to say goodnight and something caught my eye. Something was under my sister's bed. I could see just a corner of it poking out. I walked back into the room, got on my knees, and pulled it out from under the bed. It was one of the boxes, and it was unusually warm. I showed my sister. "Did you put this under here?" I asked. She became very frightened and turned pale. "No," she said. She remembered specifically putting that box in the front room earlier that day. No way she left it in her room, and no possible way she put it under her bed. I became very worried and scared at this point. Not sure what to do, I went to go put the box with the others in the front room and realized they had all been moved and nicely stacked on the other side of the room. I know that's not the wall we put them on, and I'm positive that they were not there when I checked the house for the intruder moments earlier. The room became deathly cold, and the large black figure began to materialize in a mirror on the wall. I was absolutely petrified with fear, frozen in my tracks. I could smell rotted flowers and dirt in the room, and something that I can only describe as a smell of cat urine. At this moment, I snapped out of my petrified state and ran to my sister's room. I could smell cat urine in there also, and it was freezing. Both of them were wide awake and staring at something on the ceiling. What was it? I never asked them. I told them both we need to go now. And we ran through the house and out the garage door to the truck. We stayed at my friend's house that night and didn't get any sleep. The next morning we returned to the house to find everything mostly normal except for the fact that all of my sister's things have been removed from the closet and thrown on her bed. All the boxes have been placed nicely in the closet where I had them originally. If that wasn't strange enough, all of my niece's clothes were still hanging neatly in the closet with the boxes. I don't know what any of this means, but that was more than my poor sister could handle. Her and my poor little niece have moved out and are staying with one of her friends for now. I'm still in the house by myself with the boxes. Things have calmed down and the boxes are in the closet where I guess they want to be until I sell them off. I started taking photos of the boxes in hopes to sell them off, but after taking pictures of only 3 boxes, the house began to smell, and I have heard banging around coming from the guest room. I'm going to list the boxes in small batches in hopes of not angering the spirits which obviously possess them. Please only bid on these boxes if you understand what you're getting into. No returns, bid at your own risk. Serious bidders only. I wish I never bought these damn boxes.
Yo, what's up? I'm the Mad Hatter. I'll pour you tea, please don't let it splatter. Doesn't really matter, 'cause I'm the Mad Hatter.